Okay, so something that's fascinated me for a long time is, and I talk about on this channel, is the idea of the party lifestyle. And it's a phase that a lot of people go through, particularly if you're from like the UK. It's like a big part of your late adolescence. You start going out, drinking, often underage, but like certainly by the time you get to uni, there's a big sort of party culture. And it's definitely the same in a lot of places in the world. Not all places. I think a lot of places are. You grow up in a very different way to how we do in the UK. So I'm just going to adjust this. But yeah, it's a really interesting phase that we go through, I think. And I want to talk a bit about my own thoughts on it because I think there must be. It's not all bad. I think there must be some advantage to experiencing the party lifestyle. Because a lot of people sort of go through it and they won't come out saying they regret it. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, I don't regret it, but I'm glad I've grown up." And I'm just interested to explore why, what's the right relationship to have with going out, drinking, doing drugs. What's the right attitude to have with it growing up? If it's not just total abstinence, which which I don't think it is. So yeah, I want to talk about a bit about my own sort of experience. So I'm quite typical sort of youth, I guess. Say about 15, 16, started going out to parties where people drank, and that was something I really enjoyed. I really look forward to that aspect of life. It was really exciting, and I got rather pretty fond of getting drunk. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, and I was. Yeah, I didn't sort of shy away from getting really drunk. It was really exciting. It was really fun. And I kind of thought, well, this is a stage in my life where I should be doing this kind of stuff, And fair enough, like you can't really be doing that stuff when you get older, I guess. I guess that makes sense to some extent. So anyway, that was kind of college, sixth form. And then I had a gap year, and then COVID sort of happens. So I went to uni very much with this feeling of like, yeah, I need to, I don't know, I really felt like I'd missed out on a lot of stuff that I wanted to happen, after COVID, when I went to university. I still had this kind of hunger inside me to go out drinking and partying a lot. It was COVID, so it was a bit sort of illegal, but people would have house parties and, the police would sort of come in and stuff like that. And it was all quite exciting. But I think it came to a stage where it started getting a bit unhealthy, even though I didn't necessarily realise it at the time, because I was basically, all I thought about really was partying and going out and drinking, and nothing else really seemed to matter. I was studying a degree, but it was a humanities degree and it was my first year and it was all online, so it wasn't very much work, and I wasn't very. Yeah, I didn't take up a lot of my time thinking about it. I had music. I was very into music at the time. and I spent a little bit of time playing with other people, trying to get a band and stuff, and that's when I got quite into Ableton, and I recorded a bit of music here and there. But I didn't really have a sort of grander purpose. Um, my main purpose was really just to drink. I have as many sort of fun stories, fun times, just involving alcohol, basically, and like women as well. I was really sort of obsessed with just getting laid, that kind of stuff. All that sort of typical stuff that's you go to uni for, or like people associate. Not saying people go to uni for that, but like, well, that's the typical first year stuff. Um, but as I but the reality is I actually fell quite short of this sort of purpose, if you will, because I wasn't terribly. I mean, uh, I don't know, I wasn't terribly attractive to girls. Um, you know, hadn't really figured out my look. Um, wasn't very like tidy or clean, and I was lacking that kind of higher purpose. I was rather sad that, so I was a bit annoyed by that. I was like, oh, I should. I felt like I wanted to get more girls, basically, and I felt sort of, I'm sort of ashamed to be saying this now, but at the time I felt like I should be doing better. I should be putting more girls, whatever. Obviously, I think it's a bit of an immature approach now, and as well, like, I wasn't actually going out massively a lot. I mean, I was, but like nowhere near as much as I kind of wanted to, which admittedly was an awful lot. I mean, I just want to go out every night, basically. I want to do something every night, social. As many times a week as it took, but naturally, that's not really how it works. You can't really sustain that for very long. And then as well as that, I was just, making a fool of myself. Getting ridiculously drunk. Waking up hungover. And you're like, oh fuck, I said some shit that I shouldn't have said. Or you get in a bad situation, and I suppose getting into second year, I got more into doing open mics and stuff, and I suppose things became more problematic for me then, because I started drinking every time I go to an open mic, which was quite a lot, like several times a week, sometimes I'm doing like 5 days a week, but usually 3 or 4. And I ended up just getting myself into more and more sort of troublesome situations. But I didn't really think too much about it, because I just thought, well, I'm young, I should be enjoying this kind of lifestyle. And I got into a situation where sort of I had a big JBL speaker, and this was like a prized possession of mine, and it got nicked one night because I was just sort of hanging around the wrong people, and one of them started getting aggressive, and I basically had to run away from this party. Well, it wasn't really a party, it was like just a few of us drinking in someone's dormitory in university, and one of them thought I'd nicked their phone or something, which I hadn't, and he started getting aggressive to me, and I sort of chucked I had my speaker on my shoulder, and there was 2 guys, and they weren't like big guys, but I was really drunk. So and they just started getting really aggressive to me. And I'd never really been in this kind of situation before. And I didn't know what to do, and just Flight of Flight kicked in. I just chucked my speaker at them and ran away. And that was a bit of an L. I thought, fuck, I've lost my speaker, you know. Oh well, but at least, you know, at least I was out drinking, having fun, right? You know. And so this kept happening. I just took lots of L's basically all the time. And then there was one night where I went to an open mic, and it was quite a short night, you know, like about 9 o'clock we finished, but I had a few beers and I wanted to stick it out. I wanted to play some more music. So I just started busking on the street corner, and then I got bored of that, and then I stopped in a bar somewhere, had another beer. You know, not a great thing to do, to be honest. And then I thought, oh well, better go home. So I put my guitar on my back and went to this bus stop. And then I heard some people at the bus stop, or no, I think it was outside the hotel, which was on the same road as the bus stop. And they said, these people were saying, oh, let's go to this karaoke bar. And at the time I was quite into rap music. And I remember I'd done this rap song with this karaoke bar before, and I mean, it's, you know, not terribly. It's a bit sort of difficult for, you know, I'm quite a posh guy. You know, I'm white. You know, not terribly, doesn't look terribly cool. Something like me to rap at a karaoke bar. But anyway, that's beside the point. I suddenly got it in my head that I was like, let's go to this karaoke bar. I can spit some bars, and then I can go home. You know, then I'll have that sort of, because there was kind of feeling inside me that I wanted to sort of perform more. So anyway, I went to this karaoke bar, and didn't actually, you know, I put my name down on the thing, but I just drank and smoked for till like 5 a.m. in the morning. To be honest, kind of forgot about my slot. And then we were, the bar closed, and there was this girl there who was having a bit of a breakdown. And I was like, oh shit, this girl kind of needs some help. And she was hanging out with these two other guys, and I was like, and she got an Uber, but she was really drunk, and I was pretty drunk at this point, but I thought, I don't know why, but I just felt, I just wanted to help her get back home. Very philanthropic of me. So I got into the Uber with these guys, and these guys didn't know the girl either. I don't know, like, what any of us were doing there, to be honest. And eventually we got this girl back to her house, and then the other guys I was with, so there was this girl who was having a breakdown. Basically, the reason she was having a breakdown was because she was worried she was running out of time. Like, she was 25 or something, and she wasn't in a relationship, and she was kind of sad about that. And you know, we were all being like, oh, don't worry, you still got loads of time. You know, life's. But the truth is, like, maybe I didn't realise it at the time, but actually, 25, like, yeah, you should be. You know, if you're a girl, you know, it's a bit sad, you know, like, time isn't on your side to get your life together at 25 as a girl, so that was rather sad. And there was this, one of the guys was just this really sort of sleazy guy who just got with that girl earlier on in the night, and he just wanted to come back and shag basically. But obviously now she was in hysterics, so that was off the table. But he kind of didn't really get the message. But he was Italian, so I was speaking to him in Italian and stuff. So in my sort of drunken state, I was like, "Oh, this guy's a legend," you know. But yeah, in truth, he was just a bit of a sleazy guy, trying to pull girls at a karaoke bar, you know. And then the other guy was this ex-prisoner. He just got out of prison, and as we were when we were standing outside, and he tried to rob a car in front of us with my student card actually. Obviously he didn't. But you know, I was drunk, you know. But yeah, I just kind of thought, who are these people, you know? And I had this revelation where I was like, this is what I'm going to become if I keep on this path. Because there's that phrase where it's like, oh, you're a sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I could really see that. I thought, you know, this is how it happens, really. And yeah, I really changed my perspective on things after that. Yeah, it was just very sad, very sad. So, what I think a lot about partying now is, yeah, it's funny because I was talking a bit about, you know, I had this real desire to party, to get out of my system, you know, which you get when you're young. And that's not a bad thing to get out of your system in one sense. And part of me still feels like, you know, I want to sort of get that, you know, just go out more and enjoy that, you know, lifestyle a bit more. And I feel like I'm in a better position to do it than I ever was because, you know, I've got more friendships, you know, than I did when I was in first and second year. So, you know, I hang around people where I could go out more. And there's part of me that's telling me to like do that, you know. But then there's another part of me that's like, don't do that, you know, because it's just going to lead you down the wrong path. And I'm kind of aware, and that sort of part of me is like, yeah, you know, maybe you're missing out on youthful lifestyle that you always wanted, but too bad, you know, like it's just not a good. You got to get off this path, basically. So that's my sort of thoughts about it. It's been quite a long video. I don't know if this has made a lot of sense, but yeah.